Good morning. I am up on the Blue Ridge Parkway. Just left the Mount Pisgah parking lot. Going to take the route that Fred Lambert from Electrek took in his video where he said it was a scary drive. So, I've driven this road before on earlier betas. It did fine. Sometimes there are disengagements, obviously, and some sharp curves. Just make sure that you're always ready to take over. One of the things I thought of when I was coming up here is if he doesn't drive in the mountains very often, then maybe he had his speed set too high. You can set your max speed whatever you want. So if you're uncomfortable with driving 35 in the mountains in tight curves, then maybe just set your speed lower, down to 30 or even 25 if you're really not used to these types of roads. That's the only thing I could think of that might have made this scary to Fred. I really don't know, but I just used it coming up. I had one disengagement. It wasn't scary. I just took over because the car wasn't slowing down enough for a curve, and I just braked. I'll have that video at the end. I was recording with my GoPro, but not with my 360 on top, so I'll just tack that on to the end. Yeah, I'm going to take the same route. We're coming up on the turn to get off the Blue Ridge Parkway. The Parkway has always been fine. Even in 2019 when we did our Parkway drive, Autopilot did a great job up here. As you can see, there's no line on the right side. It's just grass right at the edge of the road, and then a double yellow line in the middle. That's, it's fine. It's not super bright, but the car's always done great. I mean, even regular Autopilot 3 years ago. Alright, so we're coming up on our turn. We'll get off the Parkway and take this super curvy road back down the mountain. So this road is steep. It is also very curvy. Some really tight curves. He stopped his video before one of the hairpin turns, which is way more of a challenge than the curve that he disengaged on. Now, I'm not saying that I won't have to disengage on that same curve. I may. Part of the problem is, the bushes creeping into the edge of the road. The car wants to get away from those. And like I've said before, in blind curves, you don't want to be across the yellow line. So there's definitely a chance. This, no, the next one is the one that he disengaged on. The next left, or the next right turn. Yeah, so right after this left curve, we've got a right curve. This would be the one Right, so he mentioned that if you didn't disengage, you'd go off a cliff. Not really sure how that's possible. Yeah, slowed down to 15. Great job, FSD. But I could see if you weren't expecting it, it does wait till the last second. That is one thing that a lot of people have complained about, is the slowdown should happen well ahead of where it needs to slow down, not right at the last second hitting the brakes. So I could see where, you know, you're not used to these roads. They're really tight, and if you have your speed set up to 35, which is the speed limit, it might scare you. I don't know. I'm used to these roads. I grew up here, and these roads are completely normal to me. They're really fun to drive on. I normally wouldn't even use FSD on this road because it's just a fun road to drive. I mean, you have a Model 3 Performance, you know, this type of road is the kind of road you buy it for. It's really fun. But anyway, that curve, it did really well. But as you can see up ahead, I've got a really tight hairpin turn, which also the map, the navigation route is wrong. It even shows the road on the map, but for some reason it wants to put the navigation route off the road. So on the way up, it actually came to a stop right there, and I guess it was confused, and it saw that the road went a different direction, so it followed the road. This spot would be the same. The navigation route is slightly off the road. Obviously, we're not going to go through that mountain right there. So yeah, if you're using FSD on roads like this that are super tight, with a relatively high speed limit, I would suggest, if you're not comfortable, lowering your max speed to 25 or 30, and keep your hand on the wheel ready to take over at any second. If you don't feel comfortable, just disengage. But it's not scary. You just take over and then re-engage it when you feel comfortable. It's not anything crazy. It's not dangerous. It's not scary. You just, you know, I disengage all the time for things that I don't feel comfortable with. This isn't one of them. So the car's doing great, slowing down to about 15 in all these sharp curves. So as you can see right here, this is where the map and the nav don't match up. So the car would want to take me to the left right here. It may even turn on the turn signal. Yeah, so it would want to go right there, which is obviously not a road. It's a steep drop-off. But the car just follows the actual road. Yeah, I slowed down to 6 miles per hour because I couldn't see around the curve. Very nice. So, yeah, this is a super sharp curve. 11 miles per hour, all on its own. So this is what I mean. So it sped back up to 30 when it knew it was going to have a tight curve again. So, I mean, those kinds of things, if you're not used to it, can be a little bit unnerving. But it does really well. It slows down. Got down to 7 there. Okay, that was interesting. Ah, system error. Okay, so Yeah, I'm not sure what it's doing. I think that might be that spot. Yeah, okay. Okay. That's the spot where the navigation and map don't match up. As soon as I got, I used the accelerator there, and as soon as I got past that spot where it's incorrect, it started going on its own again. So, yeah, so that's where map data comes into play. Not sure why it did the red hand takeover, but if it does that, you just take over. It's not a big deal. Those are the kinds of things that I would consider, that's what would happen in a level 3 system. Level 3 means driver doesn't have to pay attention, but if the car can't figure something out, it'll let you know and ask you to take over. So in a situation where we have level 3, you could expect something like that where, you're just looking down, whatever, and the car yells at you and says, hey, I don't know what to do here, take over. Obviously, we're not at level 2 or level 3 yet. You have to pay attention. But that's just an example of what might happen in a true level 3 system. So we're almost down to the end of the curvy area. Once we get around this next hairpin curve up ahead, right here, then after that you've got just a higher speed residential country road. I guess off of federal property. Very tight. Very good. I mean, that was a tight curve and there was a car coming and it slowed way down and kept itself on the side it's supposed to be on. I came early so that there wouldn't be traffic. Obviously, you've seen that's the only car on this road we've seen. Alright, so yeah, this is the last hairpin turn. It's so tight that the car puts on a turn signal. Yeah, that's it. That's the main part of this drive. We're coming out here at the bottom of the hill into the residential area with houses and things. So, yeah, I mean, I had one spot where the car threw up red hands because the navigation is incorrect. I really wish they would use better maps because these MapQuest maps just suck. And yes, this is Google satellite view, but the actual mapping data matches up with MapQuest. It does not match anything in Google or Waze or Apple or OpenStreetMaps or TomTom, at least for this area. The only thing I've found that matches is MapQuest, and that sucks. So that's, that's a big thing. They've got to fix the mapping stuff. To get to Robotaxi level 4, you can't have the car give up because the map doesn't match up with the road. It just has to figure it out. So yeah, what do you think? Do you think it was scary? Let me know in the comments. But personally, no, it's not scary. It's a road. All right, I'm gonna throw up the video from the way up right here at the end. Only the GoPro, but yeah, I had one disengagement going up. On the way down, I had one red hand that I had to take over for a second and re-engage after we got through that incorrect nav data. So anyway, thanks a lot for watching this, and I'll see you next time. Right, this is on the way up to the parkway, so going in the opposite direction. All right, so I'm gonna keep my speed set at 35. The speed limit's 35, and I'll just let it slow down on its own for curves as needed. Got a hairpin turn right up ahead. Yeah, so as you can see, it's doing really well. The tires on this side went just across the center line, which I would expect I would probably do that too. And then just scoot over if I need to. See how much it slows down for these curves? And that's all on its own. I've got my speed set to 35. Nicely speeds up when you get a straight section and then slows back down. It's very human-like in these types of roads. Used to be a lot more jerky and less confident, and it made for a really uncomfortable drive. But now, I mean, this feels like I'm just riding with someone else. Yeah, slow down to about 15 there. Very narrow, very curvy. Uphill. I mean, these roads are great. The lines are, you know, really clear. They're not faded like around my town. They make sure to keep these roads up because it goes up to the parkway, which is federally owned road. They know it's well traveled. They keep the trees trimmed when they fall in the road. Very nice. Alright, so we've got some really tight turns again up ahead. As you can see, we're slowing down to around 15 to make it through all these hairpin turns. Very nice on that one. As you can see on the map, the route is off from the actual road a little bit. So I think it's trying to figure out the difference. So it came to almost a stop there. And it figured it out. It was like, okay, obviously the map is not right. Oh. Even that one, I mean, it slowed down really well for this tight curve. I probably would have slowed down a little sooner. Interesting. Did not slow down for that one. That's why you're always ready. So I think the problem with that curve right there was that it sped up too much before the curve. It shouldn't have. So, okay, there we go. Set my max speed a little higher than I had it before. we are at the top. I'll find a place to turn around.